So I have another CD player. This one is a portable disc player. Some people call it Discman, but it's not a Sony. So technically it's not a Discman, but that's what everybody calls it. And you hit play, and nothing happens. The CD does not spin. We'll zoom in. It just says error and shuts off. Same thing happens if you take the disc out. Now, I've tried different batteries. I've even powered this off the bench power supply. It's not batteries. It actually, you see the FME. This has an built-in battery charger, and it also gives a battery meter, so it means it's at a medium charge. I have nickel metal hydride batteries in here, so it's not going to show full because the voltage of those is below that of an alkaline, but they are fully charged. Now, the problem with these a lot of times is because they are portable, you get dirt and water in them and everything else. This one looks pretty clean, and they're very easy to clean the lens off because you just open it and use a little Q-tip and clean the lens off. I've already done that. That hasn't changed anything. So let's open it up and see if there's anything that stands out, and if it doesn't just stand out, we'll figure it out. The other thing I noticed is this switch on the side here is broken. So, and that's the anti-skip, and right now it's set at 40 seconds, which is its max time. So that's not the end of the world. At least it's, you know, it's stuck on. The only problem with that is it uses batteries up a little bit faster. So if you're not moving this around, you don't want the anti-skip on because it's going to use your batteries faster than it should. Let's see, is there any screws on the inside here? Or did I not take? Let's see, I got them all out. And okay, that was weird. The camera just locked up completely. But alright, so as you can see, the inside is pretty clean. And so I was kind of hoping there'd be a lot of mud or something in here, but there's not. And I'm trying to be careful not to break this ribbon cable. So the first thing I want to do is the old trick of just giving the laser diode a little bit more juice, because it may just not be seeing the disc. So as usual, what I'm going to do is mark it. If there's no, readily distinguishable marks on the potentiometer, just so I can see how far I moved it. So some people ask, do I turn this clockwise or counterclockwise? Well, if you're familiar with potentiometers, chances are you wouldn't be asking that question, but you would basically look at the traces and see where the ground is at and adjust it accordingly. And if you're not familiar, really what I would say is that you make the mark, that way you know where you started from, and you move it slightly clockwise and see if it works. If it doesn't, move it back to the mark, move it slightly counterclockwise, because we don't know if clockwise or counterclockwise is going to increase or decrease the current. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it clockwise just a little bit, and this screwdriver actually works perfect for these. And while I have it out of the case, again being careful not to rip that cable, okay, I'm going to set my bench power supply to 3 volts, and we're going to just power this from the bench power supply just to make sure, to see if it works. So it looks like this one would be positive. And I'm just going to clip that on, and if I push this down, yep, it lights up. Alright, so we've got power. Alright, so let's put a disc in here. This is getting a little bit, this is the hard part, is to make it all fit. Alright, so let's plug in the audio. I'm going to hold the lid switch down. It's actually spinning now. So let me push play. Okay. So it's working, but it's clicking a lot, which means it's barely able to read the disc. So let's turn it up just a little bit more, and we'll try it again. And actually, there we go. So let's put it back together and make sure it works inside the case. So while I have this apart, I'm also going to clean up this switch, this volume knob. Ooh, that's not one that pops out. My bad. Now to clean the volume potentiometer, actually I'm going to get all this out of here so I don't get anything on the lens. You can use, spray cans of contact cleaner. I'm just going to take some isopropyl alcohol, spray in there and move it back and forth. It's not rocket science. And isopropyl alcohol, especially the kind you get at the drugstore or wherever, the grocery store or whatever, it's usually 90% isopropyl alcohol. The rest of it is distilled water. So it does not conduct electricity. You could actually pour this on a board while it's running and nothing should happen. So none of the caps seem to be leaking. Doesn't always mean anything, but it's they look pretty good. So it looks like the only problem was really the switch and the adjustment on there. Here is this switch, or I'm sorry, the volume adjustment. Now here's this switch. It looks like the little tab got broken off. I'm not going to worry about that right now, because I could try super gluing it, but chances are I'm going to just wind up super gluing it in one position anyway, so we'll just leave that alone. Something like this, at least at this time, is really not worth putting a lot of money into. This is why I said cases. You don't have to see it 17 times. That's it. And skipping a little bit, let's just move this little piece down just a tad. Because if that's not aligned properly on the shaft, it's going to scratch against the top or the bottom. There we go. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So if you have one of these and it's not working, don't throw it out. Put a few minutes of time into it and fix it. Like I said, yep, and there's the error, but the error is because there's no disc in it. But like I said before, make sure that this is aligned properly. You can use something like this, like a PCI bracket, to pry it, or a flathead screwdriver. Do it gently. You don't want to bend or break anything. But you want to make sure it's sitting at such a place where the top of the disc isn't scratching against the lid and the bottom of the disc isn't scratching against the bottom here. So really, that's all there is to it. And you know, if that doesn't fix it, adjust the laser current like I did, and if there's still some life left in it, you'll be good to go. So if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. See you next time. Bye-bye.